Climate change is a man-made problem with a feminist solution, says Mary Robinson, the first female president of Ireland. Climate change is a worldwide issue, but it's also intricately related to what feminists fight for, equality. And the effects of climate change are not equally distributed. People of color, especially women, queer people, and those living in developing countries are most directly impacted by climate change. There's an undeniable link in the power hierarchies between the genders and between humankind versus nature. Historically, women have been treated as second-class citizens, whereas men have been benefited the most from the developments worldwide. For example, developing countries that rely on farming, women are the main contributors to production, where they experience the most detrimental blows of natural disasters. Only 10 to 20% of the women in the agricultural workforce in developing countries have land rights, according to justica.org. When women take care of their families, it pulls them away from educational opportunities. Now, if we take the stance from the treatment of nature by humans, we can see the uncanny parallels. Nature is exploited, drained of its resources, and manipulated for the benefit of man. Forests are burned, and entire ecosystems are disrupted. Ironically, even the term Mother Earth illustrates the comparison of the role of nature versus the nurturing role that women have been assigned. Nature impacts women more than it does with men. The following observations by the World Health Organization were published. Of the 140,000 people killed by a cyclone in Bangladesh in 1991, 90% were women. Similarly, a flood in Nepal also killed more women than men. This is all due to the discrimination of the economic priorities ingrained in some societies where the food and medical aid are prioritized for the men, specifically in those developing countries. These systems of power and oppression, not only are women restrained from reaching their full potential, but they are excluded from having the ability to voice their opinions on issues, and nor are they able to contribute to the solutions. We need more leader diversity to bring new ideas and initiatives to take action and make change happen. In scientific bodies around the world, only 30% of those women make up only 30% of those. Including a diverse outlook on the effects of climate change will open up opportunities from a wide range of perspectives and experiences. The women that have contributed to the climate crisis have been the most influential leaders today. For example, Jacinda Ardern, the New Zealand Prime Minister, is making efforts to pull her country towards a carbon neutral future by 2025. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, head of the Green New Deal, is implementing cleaner energy for the U.S. Cristina Figueres, head of the UN Framework Conventions of Climate Change, advocates for the inclusion of women in climate conversations. And of course, Greta Thunberg, one of the most influential young leaders of our generation. She started with her Fridays for the Future, which is school strikes for climate, and this has enabled her to travel around the world and give speeches in front of the world leaders demanding for change. All in all, our world leaders of today aren't doing enough to combat the problems of climate change. Not only are the feminist issues and climate change closely related, but the issues in one can contribute to the decreasing progress in another issue. In order to combat climate change, we also have to look at the main effects this has on humanity due to the disparity in human rights worldwide.